It's so weird.
It doesn't make any sense. Chop up the world into our time zones or whatever, and
Yeah.
2, 3, 5, 8, whatever, 10, but 13 and a half? I
Yeah.
don't know how possible that is. I mean, hey, Sean, do you know how it's possible to come up with a time zone that's 13 and a half hours different?
Wow. I had a quick call, so I'm like, what conversation am I coming back into? I do not have any idea.
I mean, I'm a mechanical engineer and Sean is a physicist, and I don't see any technical reason to do that.
Yeah, that's interesting. Where are you from originally? Are you from Greece?
Yeah, I'm from Greece, but I was actually born in Africa.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Well, I'm born and raised here in San Diego, so.
Boring.
Yeah.
Oh, forgive me.
I'm joking. But you've traveled at least. You've been to a lot of countries, and it's funny as you meet someone who says, "Oh yeah, man, I've been to Arizona."
Like 2 hours away, or 3 or 4.
Oh yeah, I've never left California.
No, I've
Okay,
I've been to like 4 countries this year. I mean, but I keep busy, so that's a good enough
so
amount for now.
let's see. So, oh, somebody disappeared. Elizabeth, what's your interest in all this and the reason why the title of the meetup attracted you? What's your focal point? What gets you jazzed?
Yes, that's a good question. So, well, I've been working in finance for going on 12 years now, and um, I started like really diving deep and getting into cryptocurrency and just a heavy interest in AI. So I've started a coding, I've started blockchain application development. So I've started with coding and things like that. My dad was a software engineer, Indian, so I'm picking it up very well. It's kind of like I've always had an interest in. I used to do coding as a kid.
Hmm.
And I say that I'm 41 years old. So you're talking like this is in like 1990, you know what I mean? Like where nobody even knew what it was or the internet or people weren't using it. So like in Cleveland. So I got away from it for a while because it really wasn't the cool thing to do, especially for a girl. And now I'm like back and totally just like really seeing, I guess, the potential for it and seeing where it's going. And especially being in LA amidst the strike, where it's like I'm going into some of these studios. I work a little bit in the industry as well, the entertainment industry, a little bit. I don't like a lot, but you see some of the studios and how they're utilizing AI and some of the companies and just the blockchain, just the high like just the high demand for blockchain and all the potential, all its potential is just like I'm like a sponge, so that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I think the writers are screwed.
Yeah, I mean it's like it's very just a hard argument, I mean you'll never get away from live performance, but and some things, you know what I mean, but AI is going to be able to replicate a lot of things. I think mostly a lot of it's going to be advertising. I mean, well, a lot of it already is advertising, content creation. Um, there's a studio in Santa Monica. I have a good relationship with the owner, and he wrote a program for Google back in 2004. I can't remember the exact name of the program, but it's an algorithm, and he sold it. And now he's very into like he has a content creation studio for influencers, and he does all of their AI. So he takes influencers that have a million or more following, and then he'll create content for them. It's all AI, so they don't have to even do anything anymore. They've already established their presence. They already have the following. They just basically they get their image taken and their voiceover and all of these things, and then they have content that's pushed out. So they're just making so much passive income
Hmm.
right now from all of it. I don't know. It's interesting. And then in terms of advertising, I mean, if you're thinking about your company, why would you invest in anything other than, it's just a fraction of the cost to do ads or commercials and things like that. So
Yeah, I think it's
yeah.
yeah, content creation that's the biggest one. So I don't know if you know this, but I wrote a book on AI.
Oh no, I didn't. Yeah, I was like, I just wanted to meet people that are involved in it and just start making connections and
Well, and just to add a thought on, the writers. I mean, it's a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy thing, but at the same time, you know, I think they could channel their energy a little bit better in, if they would. I'm not saying embrace it and fall in love with AI, but to an extent, it's here. I don't think it's going away, and
yeah.
it's the people that can utilize it, embrace it, because you can use AI all day, but if you don't have that raw talent, if you can't get up on stage and XYZ, I don't know all the details of performing arts, but you can recognize talent when you see it, and when someone can give an amazing performance. So if there's someone that can do that, and they also start to learn and get familiar with tools that can just take them one notch higher or even a few levels higher with AI, that's a symbiotic growth relationship rather than something that's tearing what seems
Well,
like the system
no,
apart.
because if it's like finance, so you talked about finance. So there's a legacy system, the incumbents, okay? They're doing very well. They don't want any change. Doesn't help them to get change. So you're telling someone that's done something a certain way to say, "Oh, embrace this new tool," and I've said that. Obviously, that's the right answer, but they are used to doing it a certain way, and now for them to become a content creator in AI or use tools, um, first of all, they think it's sacrilegious. Like my daughter is into art, so when I first showed her Mid Journey, and she says, "Oh, that's not art," you know. And I said, "Well, I think," and a lot of people talk about like you say, content creation is intellectual property, and I said, okay, if you start out with, and we're going to, I'll do a little demo of Mid Journey and Leonardo, and so if we start out with zero AI content in terms of art, okay, and then you see all the artwork that's being created millions at a time with such beauty and variation, and it just blows your mind. And then so that art is created from taking existing art and having AI go and break into little pieces and then put it back. So it actually, the base of it is a human creation. Okay. But then as AI creates a new art, then it goes and takes pieces of that art. At what point do we go to an 80% content creation of AI versus humans? And saying, well, and you said that everybody wants to see a live performance of a human, and that's debatable because at a certain point in time when it becomes so realistic, which I've seen examples of AI that's very realistic, is maybe you'll say, oh, that's fine, I'll just use AI instead. And in terms of content creation, I'll show you here. Oh, you know what? I think when I shared, I didn't do I hate it when you do Zoom calls, you have to say audio and sound. But I'll show you, give you an example of so my book, which is a guide to AI tools, I'm making an audio. But what I did, instead of hiring somebody to read it for me, I closed.
First, we should define AI to understand the components that make it up. AI stands for Artificial Intelligence, which refers to the development of computer systems that can perform tasks that typically require human intelligence, such as perception, reasoning, learning, problem-solving, and decision-making. AI is a multidisciplinary field that combines computer science, mathematics, engineering, psychology, and neuroscience.
So that's a minute sample, okay?
Hola,
Mm-hmm.
mi nombre es Nico.
y soy el autor de este libro titulado Una guía para herramientas de IA.
So now I'm translating all different languages, okay, to read my book. So the content creation before, and I've never done it. I've never had a need to create content. So here you've got all these amateurs that are creating content, competing with, say, professionals. And I've been in the movie industry, many years. Um, and they're usually like very like stuck in their lanes,
Mm-hmm.
they any new idea. So I started my IT company in 1987 in LA, and it was so difficult to convince people to say, "Hey, man, you need to get a laser printer." Oh no, my dot matrix printer is fine. Remember
Mm.
the old days they had a printer that was a round ball with all the letters,
Yeah.
and it would twist quickly and go to H, and then twist back to A, and
Yeah.
but I couldn't convince them that it's a good idea to go to a laser printer. Okay. So I think the same thing happens, and people are fearful of AI. So here I'll give you another example where it's created an avatar. This is one of my first ones, so it's not very good, but
Do you have problems getting the right response from ChatGPT? Well, welcome to GopherGet, a friendly AI tool that helps you get the best results from ChatGPT without being an expert. Go to gopherget.com, watch our demo video, and start your free trial. Empower yourself with amazing skills.
so that's one of my first avatars, and the I know that she's looking up, but when you have tools like this, and I think CNBC they did a show where the host started talking, and I've watched this host for a decade, okay, and he was talking, and I all of a sudden he says, "I'm not real," and then next to him is his real um, person talking, and you can't tell the difference.
That was that. What was that? That CNBC was that?
Yes,
Yeah.
NBC.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. What was his
So
name? Brian something.
yeah, Brian, yeah. And so that's kind of scary in the fact that if I can, like one guy tried it, he cloned his voice and he had to call his mother and said, "Could you wire me, $500?
Yeah.
I have a problem." And she said, "Sure, honey." so, so that's going to become common.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead here and do so there's two things we're doing, and I want to give you the opportunity to come to our podcast. And also I've got another channel that is basically AI tools. I'm going to show you one of those today, but we do have a podcast if I can find it. Let's see. Yeah, so this is AI chat podcast, and there's we're going to be doing them at least weekly. But I want to do a presentation on my current one to show you a tool in AI. And when I talk about AI, it's not just chat GPT.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see, there's one here which is ask your PDF. Okay. So let's just watch this. It's very short, it's like 3 minutes.
Hi, welcome to another tutorial from the book A Guide to AI Tools. Data scientists, professionals eager to upskill their and advance their careers. What is the duration?
Oh, did I skip? I skipped it. Sorry. That was weird.
Yeah, a couple minutes. Yeah.
Hi, welcome to another tutorial from the book A Guide to AI Tools. Today we'll be going through a really interesting application, and basically it allows you to have a conversation with the PDF that you upload. So say you get a 200-page PDF that you have to review. This simplifies it because basically you upload it to the site, and then you just have a conversation. You ask questions. So my book is available on Amazon. It's called A Guide to AI Tools. AI will not replace human jobs. Humans using AI tools will. So the site is askyourpdf.com. What I've done is I've uploaded a 20-page document I got for a course I'm attending at Berkeley, an online course for AI certification. So basically it's got things like an overview, it's got takeaways, who's the program for. So we can dive into the application. I've already uploaded it. So basically it says ask a question. So you can say who is this course geared for? So you'll see it's analyzing the document. So it says in response, the program mentioned in the documentation is geared to senior leaders, functional business heads, data scientists, professionals eager to upskill their and advance their careers. What is the duration? So it says here the duration of the program is not mentioned in the provided content. So as you can see, this could be a really useful tool to save you hours of having to pour through long PDFs to find answers to the questions you have. Is basically you just have a conversation with it. Anyway, I think this is something that a lot of professionals could use, and it's so easy to set up. You can start with a free trial, so you can test it for a while and see if you like it, and I definitely think it's worth it.
That was
So
a good
what,
demo. You got an
Yeah.
affiliate link? You should profit off that.
yeah, so think of it. Isn't that like sometimes you're at work and they say, hey man, there's this new regulations or whatever. Here's a 200-page PDF. Read it. And you say, oh my God, you know.
Yeah.
But what about tell it to summarize it for you? Give me the main points. Ask a question. And so basically, you are having a conversation with a PDF.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, it's huge.
Yeah, but how many people know it exists?
Well, just imagine that for a script. You're trying to
Yeah.
look through your. I mean, I don't know what else you would be doing besides memorizing. Maybe just having context so you can be a little bit more adaptive. You know, if something goes not exactly by the line, but you could that's huge streamlining right there. Just cutting straight to the what are you after in that document?
Yeah, exactly. Just being able to like have the conversation with the document, like you mentioned. It's just it could be any document. You're right. You could have anything and just like have a conversation with it, making it totally interactive.
Your bank statement. Hey, how much did I spend last month?
Yeah. Right.
So
That's another tutorial actually, because there is a way of creating plugins with Excel, and instead of trying to do calculations, say, how many bananas did I sell last June compared to July? You don't have to do any calculations spreadsheet. You just enable the ChatGPT module and you ask those questions, and it
So
tells
it
you.
makes it totally interactive. It's almost like the document's coming to life and it's speaking to you.
Yeah, and it's giving you information without you having to formulate it. You don't have to go down a column and say sum all these cells and then compare it to the next column. I mean, this stuff
Yeah.
is really exciting. So let's just go to a little segment about Bitcoin, because You mentioned blockchain, and I changed my company name to Blockchain, NTI Blockchain, about 7 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
because my other books I've written are about money, and I realized, I think it was 9 or 7 years ago, that I didn't understand money, and that's why when I saw the white paper from Satoshi, I realized I've got to study and find out what money means, because most of us work for a asset that decreases in value 10% per year at least, you know,
Right.
and it's a fiat currency, which the word means by degree. So if somebody says, "Hey, this is money," they just make an announcement. There's no value to it. It's worth, well, they say it's worth 2 cents because of the paper, but even that paper is worthless, isn't it?
It's worthless. Yeah, I mean, I've studied a lot about that as well. So it's like with the fiat currency and um being linked to gold at one time, and now it's not linked to gold, and it's just this arbitrary thing, right? Like it doesn't have any value. It's has the value is everybody's confidence in it. It's everybody has this extreme confidence and belief that it is valuable. We've all made this agreement, as humanity, as society, that it has value, and it doesn't. But it actually used to be a more of a fair game when it was linked to a finite resource.
Yeah, and
Just
even gold is not finite because the problem with gold, I think it's they produce an additional 5 to 6% per year.
mm,
And what if Elon Musk really grabs one of these meteorites that's full of gold, you know?
yeah,
And as the price of gold goes up, then people have more incentive to search and dig for it.
yeah,
So Bitcoin is the only finite um, asset. And the problem is, I always have the argument, and I'll tell you why I'm kind of sick of having an argument about Bitcoin, even what blockchain means. And what I'm going to tell you about your efforts in blockchain is
hmm
that, oh, well, you can't touch it. Well, do you touch your dollars? It's the money, when you put your money in a bank, they issue an IOU.
yeah,
And then they call it reserve banking, and it used to be around 10%. And most people don't know at the beginning of COVID, they made that 0%.
yeah,
So in essence, they go and invest all the money you just gave them, and then if they screw up, you have to bail them out.
yeah. It's like giving a 0% loan, to the federal government. It's very, very interesting. It blows my mind. I mean, and then people, they try to they're leading us away from the paper currency and actually push towards like consumer debt and using credit and things like that. I mean, they push, the US government doesn't have there's no incentive for the paper money. The paper money is what the printing of it, right, is what causes the inflation. So the more people are staying away from using paper money, the easier they have to, I
Well,
think,
the
control.
CBDC, and I think there was an announcement today that some regulatory branch has told the central bank that they're not allowed to create a CBDC. The whole key to this is that they want programmable money. It's not just the fact that it's not cash. It's not even the fact that it's digital, because they want to be able to control how you spend that money. Okay, and
Yeah,
they can't control you like in France. I think it was 6 months ago, where if you want to fly anywhere in France, um, you cannot fly there if the train goes to the same town. You have to take a train. Okay.
oh,
So,
interesting.
yeah. So what they could do is say, okay, you've got Nico, you got carbon credits of 100 this month, and you're going to get 100 every month. And you go and buy steak twice a week. And oh my God, the carbon credits for steak are high because now cows pollute. Um, and you wanted to take that flight to Hawaii? Sorry, you don't have enough credits. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Never thought about that, but that's very, yeah, interesting.
No, it's programmable money. That's what they're going for. And In Holland, the government is trying to, well, they're forcing 3,500 farmers to sell their um, farms to the government at a fixed price because they need to pass a certain emissions test. And these farmers are creating pollution with the cows. Okay. So that's happening everywhere. And, Bill Gates is buying farmland because he doesn't want people to eat meat. You should be able to eat crickets.
Oh my gosh.
Uh,
Right. So interesting. So what is your opinion then is if everything is digitized? Because I've heard that if like the US government, adopts the digitized currency, then they will be able to do this, right? Essentially. And if they adopt, I mean, that's kind of the intention because then they can have eyes on every single transaction and then they can control it.
yeah, they didn't. They want you to. Oh, that's interesting. Hang on a second. This is a product I created about 8, 9 years ago. It's called Digital Asset ID, and it was the tokenization of physical assets. So here's another aspect to that. It's not just the token digital currencies that they'll control and monitor. And they'll say, "Hey, you don't need to do your tax return. We know all the money you made. Um, we know what you spent. We'll just do your own tax return." And by the way, sometimes when say you don't pay your taxes and because you're disputing something, uh, when it comes to the point where they control it, they'll just take the money out. You know, there's
Yeah.
there's no disputing.
Yeah.
And it's funny because right now, I think my developer in India, she says, "Oh, by the way, next invoice you'll get a service tax of 18%." And I said, "Well, in the States, labor is not taxable." Okay.
Hmm.
And she says, "Well, you can deduct it." I said, "No, I can't deduct it. I mean, I have to pay you what I have to pay you. It's not, I can't say I'm deducting the labor tax. There's no such thing. I can deduct what I spend, but I don't get that 18% back." And it just pisses me off where all these countries are charging all this tax. And, in Greece, they moved to VAT or value added tax like they have everywhere in Europe.
Hmm.
And do you know what it is? It's so value added tax is anything you buy. It's like a sales tax. Do you know what it is?
Not really. I just know it's like a crap tax, right? It's just like this, like I feel like it's just a made up tax, isn't it? Like,
Well, here's the bad part of it. First of all, it's up to 28% now. Okay?
oh my gosh.
And the easy part of it is they can say, "Hey, we need more money. Let's go to 28.5%. That's easy." Some people complain, but what the hell? So,
Yeah.
so, so coming back to digitizing everything, yes, they want to have well, the Fed has something called the Fed Now, which they created and announced in July. Um, and it's going to be a digital dollar that is traded amongst the major banks. So they're testing it out already. And CBDCs are going to be forced on some people. I hope we don't go that route because what happened in Nigeria, I think it was beginning of this year, is inflation in these countries is horrendous. Sometimes at 80%.
Yeah.
But what the Nigerian government says, okay, we're going to on this date, uh, on this Friday, we're going to go to a digital dollar or currency. I don't know what they use in Nigeria. Um, it's going to be, you have to come to the bank and hand in your physical currency because that will no longer be valid. Okay. And
Okay.
we'll exchange it for this new digital money.
Was this the one that crashed in like under a month? or
Yeah, because
collapsed or failed or whatever.
yeah, actually they said come in and get the new currency because they did that in India too. Modi,
Hmm.
he shocked because most Indians say, "Give me my rupees, I'm putting them under the mattress," you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he had a really good trick up his sleeve. He says, Friday, 5 p.m. By the way, all those paper denominations you have are no longer valid. You have to come in and exchange them for a new one. So all of a sudden, he wiped out that black market.
Yeesh.
Although the funny story is in Italy, the lira is still being used as a currency by the mafia and all illegal activities.
Mm.
But coming back to Nigeria, oh no, this is what they said. There's going to be a new paper currency. So come into the bank and exchange it. But then they said to people that came in, oh, we don't have enough, but we can give you this wallet, and here's a digital currency which represents that $500 you brought in.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Mm.
so it's a switch and bait, and
Mm.
and what happened is that everybody just kind of revolted, and they didn't want to use that wallet anymore, and they said screw it because they didn't trust it. Because again, in these countries where you have high inflation rates like Turkey or Venezuela, Argentina, um, and that's a funny thing about this new BRICS that they're forming, this new um, what is it, petrodollar that's going to be made of China, India, South Africa, and they're going to include, Brazil and all these countries, but their currencies and their fiat currencies suck, and people don't understand that a fiat currency, is based on the productivity of the people. That's why ours is pretty strong because until now we're the cleanest shirt in the dirty laundry.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of people are going to be surprised come the first tax season after implementing something like CBDC. I mean, if FedCoin now is already here. I carry a couple active licenses in the state of California, and this particular year, this was a couple years back, I didn't happen to practice that form of license that I carry, and I got a FTB notice just a few months back for that year, stating that I apparently owe an additional $6,000 in taxes. And after finally doing some research and digging, I'm like, where did this income come from? And they essentially approximated the average income for someone holding that type of license and automatically applied that to me, regardless of my other income and other, tax events for that year. And I was liable for that until I proved that I didn't make income from that license.
That's crazy. I mean, it should be the other way around. You would have to
Right. Is it guilty
prove,
until proven innocent or innocent until proven guilty? What kind of
yeah, like
country do we
you're
live in?
so odd. It would just automatically be like, we've assumed you made a amount of income or you've shown no proof.
Yeah.
They do that with businesses like my corporation. When my tax return comes in, it shows my estimated tax for the next year, and I have to pay it now.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Yeah, I guess that would be similar. I've just never heard of it where it's like you filed the return. I've seen the estimated tax, but I know you can get away. They scare you. You can get away with not paying it, right? But because it's estimated, but like to actually like have to go
No,
through.
well, without going into too much detail, it was for the year 2020, which was an interesting year tax-wise for probably most people in this country. So, but still, like, looking back at that, I'm just like, if I wasn't so diligent about understanding what that even was, like, I could have been screwed out of thousands of dollars for just, blindly. Oh, I gotta pay this tax, and I'm like, but no, I'm like, okay, I figured it out, and it was bogus. So,
Yeah.
but that's been sorted out.
Yeah. So if everything is digitized, like how would that like, because you're saying there'd be no dispute, there wouldn't be any
Right? They're
filing.
gonna say no. Look, it's right here. It's in 5 systems. We've got an official check. It's got the blue check, so
Yeah.
it's verified. You made this amount of money. Whether your input is not relevant. Pay up.
Oh my God.
Oh, and you use GopherGet, did you?
That's true. It did help me out. I was looking up some of the tax law.
So we're plugging our own program, but you can go to gopherget.com and actually do a free trial. It's a tool to create the correct prompt to get you a better result with ChatGPT.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
Yeah, so Elizabeth, I know you mentioned at the beginning that you do a lot of research and look into blockchain. So we want to show you an example of this, and then we also want to
Yeah.
open it up to you. What where are you at right now? What are some challenges that you're looking to maybe overcome with your ventures, developing software, developing blockchain, uh,
Yeah.
interfaces?
Guess like thinking off the top of my head, showing that PDF, like the way to have a conversation with a PDF, like if there is there anything in terms of like something I can use for coding that's like an AI, because right
oh,
now,
yeah. So okay, I'll show
yeah.
you an example, and this is what I've been studying AI since 1984.
Oh wow.
And I kind of put it on pause because I took a course at Berkeley for machine learning, but I didn't like it. I mean, I was analyzing, oh, how many patients are going to die if they come back with this test and blah blah blah, and I think it was morbid, It's like
Yeah.
so. I'll give you an example of how you can do it. So my story was this: I said, I think it was 2 years ago, when the day comes that I can tell AI to give me code and it actually works, then I'm going to know that we've reached that point. And that has come, and I'll show you an example of what I did as a test.
Okay.
So where's my AI? Is it on this one? Anyway, I can just go into a login. Oh yeah, I could have done it in the other example, but I'll show you here. And so if I said write code in PHP to create a contact database on MySQL using CRUD. Uh, in OHO.
Database. Oh.
There's a slight problem. Okay, so CRUD, yeah. So CRUD is, create, write, update, and delete. So I'm going to hit return. So you see there's a copy code button.
Oh yeah.
So here's the different steps it's doing, and you can copy it and put it in an editor. And I ran it, and it actually worked. And this, you're seeing this because I've combined my ChatGPT with Google.
Okay.
So it gives me both sources in terms of the search. But isn't this cool?
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Because right now I'm learning to write in Solidity. And so I could just say, basically, write code. You could say write code for I want to say it like, I mean, could you even just say write the code to develop a complete like cryptocurrency exchange or something like
Cool.
that, like trading bot or
Yeah,
like one
of
of
course. Anything you want. And
I mean,
actually,
it depends, but yes, the more level of detail you get, the more probably closer to what you are envisioning you will, get back as the output. And I think that's where a level of prompt engineering comes into that sort of action when you're interacting with ChatGPT or.
the
How many years has that language been around?
Solidity,
Yeah.
that started with Ethereum.
Okay.
yeah,
I mean,
this
obviously it's going to work with your plugin, Nico. But say you weren't using the plugin, you would still be limited by ChatGPT's data
No, no,
set up until.
no, no,
Okay.
no. Wow, what did it do?
it
I
did.
You got an AI keyboard?
hit code for a Solidity. So here's a simple smart contract in Solidity.
And then steps to run the code in Remix. Wow,
Well,
that is so cool. So cool.
yeah, so now the next one you could say, expand, blah, 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 do this. And obviously, a more comprehensive question in the beginning would have helped to give you more to it. But, you copy this code and you off to the races.
Yeah, well, this will help me in just projects, and I think it's just like a resource because, like I said, I'm new, so I want to be able to do things quickly. And this, yeah, that's like super helpful. So, what were you saying? It won't limit because he was saying like, how long has it been around or whatever? Does it limit the?
No, I was just curious. Like, say for instance, this was a language that came out in November of 2022. If you're using ChatGPT as opposed to another language learning model or another GPT,
Oh,
it's limited to what is it, September 2021? That's where the data set of information that it's using, and it's
Yeah, but there's ways around that. And so we'll come back at the end. I'll do another demo on another tool, and then we'll come to GopherGet because, for example, I asked a question from GopherGet, and I wrote this program. So we're selling it. It's a free trial. It helps you because if you go to ChatGPT and ask to predict the price of BTC December 31st at the end of this year, it'll say, I cannot predict the price. Okay. But if you ask ChatGPT, it'll tell you quite well, I think, logically of what the price could be. And we'll use that as an example. But let's go and watch that other video. That was the one on the one I just did last night, actually. It's creating images. And I want to see if I can, when I expanded it in this window, it was kind of large. Let me see. Can I just go to the link? Copy the link and go to a new window. Okay, let's just watch it in this content then. Oh shit, we got ads.
the video is muted on the actual player.
I know, I'm just wondering if this is an ad I have to skip.
Well, in this video, I'm going to show.
It looks like the video.
It's not my video.
Oh, you got redirected to another. Okay.
Yeah.
Midjourney is an extremely powerful AI tool that moves quickly, and it has a slight learning curve until you get the hang of it. Midjourney is actually not even a program itself. You use
So this is kind of interesting how they, because of the video I'm doing, it talks about Midjourney. They put an ad for Midjourney. Do you know that?
Yeah, you should be. You should making those AdSense dollars, not
Yeah.
not the random person making it. Or wait,
Right.
are you running an ad on your? Wait, no, you wouldn't see an
No.
ad on your own account.
I'm trying to stop this to give me my video.
Right. But that's weird. It looks like
It is a redirect, man.
okay. I think you might be accidentally clicking on the rest of the like window, because if you click outside of the skip ad, it's actually like a hyperlink to
Okay,
the ad.
Copy this link. Okay.
If you just hit the video link itself, it should open it in a new tab.
I know, but I'm trying to make it so it's not distorted because it was. So let's just play it here, and it'll be distorted.
Welcome to another tutorial on
Oh no, I meant if you hit the video link, like right
AI
below
tools. It's based on
it, outside of the full screen.
This one?
Yeah, if you just click it. There you go. Cool.
Okay.
This is not me.
That's weird.
Yeah, no, I think it's doing a redirect. It's not like even.
Do you want me to share it? I mean, okay.
Yeah, why don't you try and share it?
Let me hold on. Let me pull it up and.
Do you want me to send it in text?
Could you send it on the Zoom chat, please?
Oh yeah. We have so many ways to communicate.
Yeah.
Okay, I sent it.
There it is. Okay.
But that's weird, isn't it? That redirect.
Really weird.
I mean, that wasn't just, oh, let's play an ad for a minute.
Well, how do I go? Okay. Request.
Try it and tell me if you can get it, and then you can share
screen. Yeah.
No. First play it, and enable the audio.
Oh no, it's there.
Well, play it.
Welcome to another tutorial on.
Do you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
On AI tools. It's based on my book that's available on Amazon called A Guide to AI Tools. This is number 4, and it's a short tutorial on differences between Midjourney, which is a image creator, and Leonardo.ai. So join our channel, subscribe, like, get notified, and we'll be building a lot of content, which will also be a basis for an audiobook for my physical book. So let's start with, I started using Discord about 9 months ago, and in this case I used it for a spokesperson for our other channel, which is called AI Chat Podcast, and we do a general AI podcast. And so what I did was I copied the prompt that created this image in Midjourney, and as you can see, it's actually quite high resolution, and I didn't really do much adjustments to it. So let's go now over to Leonardo, and we'll go to the main home page, which is here. The first step after creating a free account is you select a model. These are the featured models, and pick it based on how you like the output to be. So if you're doing cartoonish kind of things, select this model. If you want photoreal, you can come here. You get 140 tokens, free tokens every 24 hours, and you can check to see what the status is. So it's free in that sense, but you can use quite a few tokens when you pick high resolution images. And the first thing you do is go directly to AI image generation. And what this is how you start your journey. There's two places you can go to for prompt generation. One is going here where I just pasted in the same prompt I had in Midjourney, or you can paste it down here and it'll give you ideas. So if you're not quite sure of how to create the prompt for the image you're looking for, it'll actually modify it and give you a suggestion on how you can get a better prompt. First thing you have up here is the tools where you can pick the number of images from 1 to 8, which is kind of nice. I've turned on photoreal, and that's because I wanted a photorealistic image. It uses up more tokens. With a free account, the images are always public, so if you don't want people to see or have access to images, you need to have a paid account. And here's where you pick the resolution, and you can also upload an image where it'll do a prompt on the image instead. So if you want variations of an existing image, you can do that. So it's a lot more powerful, and there's also another feature I like, which is you can tell it what you don't want. So one of the problems I've noticed is that you will have some deformity when you select and create images. So if we go to the ones that were created here, so these were created from the same prompt as Midjourney, but if you notice in this image, if you look at her fingers, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fingers on this hand and 3 on this. So that's kind of odd. So you can get a lot of deformities. And let's see if there's any other deformities we've got. And sometimes it'll do some weird stuff. So what Leonardo gives you opportunity is to say all the things you don't want. So if you have to tell it like things not to do. Let me find an example of a model that has that. This doesn't. Well, let's see. Now, and also another thing you can do is you actually copy these prompts and modify them so you can come up with like your version of what you're trying to make. I'm trying to find an image that has that deformity, or the negative. It's called a negative prompt. So on top of the prompt, you have the negative prompt. Oh yeah, here's one. So you'll notice here's the prompt details, and then you've got the negative prompt. So give me a close-up. Don't give me 2 heads. Oh, don't give me a close-up. Don't give me 2 heads. No 2 faces. No deformed, blurry, bad anatomy, bad eyes, crossed eyes, disfigured, poorly drawn hands, missing limb. So the difference now between Midjourney and Leonardo is I can eliminate all the deformities I usually get. So hopefully this was a helpful tutorial, and start your journey, because this is an amazing journey. If you think of where we've come, what has been created, and what is the role of an artist in our environment, and how quickly and with amazing imagination we can pick and create all these beautiful artists images like the sunset. I mean, I think it's absolutely amazing what you can create. I mean, the clarity, the detail, look at the embroidery. So see you on the next tutorial. Thank you very much, and remember to go to our YouTube channel and share with your friends and keep on watching. Thank you. See you next time.
So
That's cool. So I have a question.
Nice.
So is that Midjourney or that's Leonardo AI?
Leonardo.ai.
Okay, so that's Leonardo, and then Midjourney is like a similar program. I've seen. I think at the studio I was at, they were utilizing Midjourney because is that where you type in the prompts through Discord?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then you create the image from there. Okay, and then Leonardo AI. So Leonardo AI is like more like creating exactly like an image almost because it seems like I don't know, I've seen Midjourney and so you just type in what you want essentially and it pops out. But like Leonardo, it's more like artistic. That's pretty cool. This is that the one you showed your daughter and she didn't like it, or was it Midjourney or something you said?
She didn't like any of that stuff because she's an artist. So
Yeah.
But is that even close to her art style, or? Well, I guess you could
it's any
call
art
out her.
style.
Yeah, you could call out her art style and mimic it.
But no, let me
Mm.
tell you the difference. There's no real difference between this Midjourney. They both give you the same results, except you have to use Discord. And what you do in Discord is you put a backslash and say imagine, and you type things. You'll say, I want a fast red fire truck going down a street in San Francisco, make it super realistic, give it this aspect ratio. And also, if you know about photography, you can put things like what type of settings, the lenses, and so they both are the same prompt because I copied the same prompt into both programs, and you can see the results I got were pretty similar.
Okay.
It's just that Leonardo is a website, and you're just sitting there, and you've got more tools, I think, than Midjourney. And one thing about Midjourney is weird is you'll put a prompt and it'll say, okay, we're working on it, and then all these other people's stuff comes scrolling by, and you lose track of yours. You have to skip back, and it's kind of distracting in the sense it's not a static website where you can see your content. You can have your tools, and like I said, the tools in Leonardo I think are much more powerful. And look, there's something else I did, and I don't know if I did a demo on this, but the fact is, if you want to use ChatGPT to create a prompt for Midjourney or Leonardo, you can. I wrote a script for ChatGPT because ChatGPT will tell you, I don't know what Midjourney is. It was created after we were created, and so it won't give you an answer. But I fed it a file and I said, basically, forget everything you know. And here's this new program. It does this. And I kind of taught it what Midjourney was, and then I told it to create a prompt for a horse in the forest and stuff like that, and it created the prompt for me.
Interesting. So
So
that's
yeah,
around it, and you're talking about information that it holds and is able to deliver. That's so what about my other question was about the deformities. So if you don't say what you don't want, then does it is it like kind of like you
It
risk that
could
you
have the exactly. So
can't?
by preempting that or pre-prompting that, you're going to most times entirely eliminate that. Of course, it could be imperfect, or you could have not added a negative prompt, and so for instance.
no, it's funny because I wanted, maybe I can show a picture, because when I first did my first model for GopherGet for she was meant to be holding a mic. So I say, talking into a mic. She's in a home professional studio, YouTuber. And then I didn't even notice it. And Sean said, hey, she's got three hands. so, so I took the Gopher logo and I stuck it on top of her third hand.
Oh my God. Well, yeah, think I've seen that. So that just happens like randomly. It's almost like in the actual human experience where you could randomly have this. Is that because I remember
Yeah,
seeing
your
this
your hand
before.
twitches. You stroke the brush. And then usually, obviously, as an advanced artist, you could probably mask that or somehow otherwise incorporate it, make it a part of the picture. But you know, uh, an AI is
Yeah.
very much input output. I'll do nothing more and I'll do nothing less than what I understand.
Yeah.
But I think, this empowers me and Sean that this is not our job. We never did podcasts. We didn't have a YouTube. Well, I've always had a YouTube channel, but to go down this road where we can create art and I mean, we're going even a step further. How can we 2x our capabilities? So the main point of my book is this: how can I take you and 2x you and then 10x you
Mm-hmm.
in terms of productivity? Because being a software developer, that's what I've been doing all my life. I mean, I first started creating an accounting solution that I sold to companies and modified it. But like, for example, I'm working on another project where I have a database, and I don't know if you've ever heard of FileMaker or Claris.
Mm-mm.
It's owned by Apple, and it's a database that Apple created long time ago. I think I've been developing it since '87. But
Uh,
yeah, so that's a long time. And what I have is there's a new thing called Claris Connect. So basically, I can create a solution for a company. But say I want to create plugins or I want to pull data from other sources like Salesforce or Dropbox or Slack. I can now create my own interfaces to integrate all the data into one platform to display, or even take an action like saying, if a document is put into Dropbox in this folder, automatically send an email with a link to these three people.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Those are the things I do. I mean, that's what I like, and it's productivity in the sense that it's kind of sick in the way because you're saying, well, you should do it by yourself. But if I don't have to go and create an email and say, hey, Jack, you guys, we just got this new, the artist just put a new file for our logo. Check it out. Here's the link.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
cuts out. I mean, it's amazing what you can do, and you can just free up time and literally have like an AI doing all of the hard work. It's crazy. It's
I know
crazy.
it's AI and also other solutions too. So I'm combining them all, and I'm trying to implement AI into everything we do. Um,
Hmm.
and the biggest question, I think, I'm redoing my book, in the beginning chapter, it states, well, how do I begin? Because somebody could say to you, you know what, you should be using AI to increase your productivity. And your first question will be, well, how do I do it? Where do I start? And an example I put in my book is I took an email I was sending to promote a product, and I wrote it the way I would. And obviously, English is not my first language, but still, I think I can speak English well, except I'm an engineer. Growing up, I never cared what a pronoun was. I didn't give a shit what a noun was. I was into programming and engineering. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I started writing my book, and I thought, geez, I don't know how to write. So one of the tools I use is like I would create this email and I'd say, okay, I want you to fix this grammatically, but I want you to make it compelling and make it professional. And the example I got back was, wow, that's so much better than what I did.
Hmm.
And an example would be I got a 20% better response. And that's something simple. You just copy what you put in your email, put it in ChatGPT, and tell it what to do. And voila, you got now a simple tool that has increased your productivity.
Yeah, so it's like as long as you learn how to use it and utilize it and kind of like marry it with whatever you're doing, your interests lie, then it's not really anything, I guess, to be like angry at. Like people are scared and fearful of it. I don't know if it's necessarily a thing to be like fearful of it because it's going to take over something you're doing. It's taking over something you're doing to like you're I don't know, you know what I mean? Like to just
It's
be
gonna
very
elevate you. It's gonna take you
yeah,
to another level.
yeah, exactly. It's like
Yeah,
it's
but what
interesting.
percentage of people can be elevated?
It's just it's interesting how people are scared of that. What did you say? What percentage of people can be elevated?
Yeah.
Like, what percentage of people have that potential to grow that extra 20%?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, we can simplify it. What, you know, I mean, not that it's a direct translator, but you know, what percent of Americans earn a six-figure income? And we don't have to necessarily know the exact number. What can we agree that it's maybe less than 10% of the U.S.
Yeah,
population?
yeah.
So, you know, I'm not saying all those people are geniuses or very dumb or very smart or one way or another, but on a balance of probabilities, I would say those individuals are perhaps more likely or more capable, you know, more willing to dedicate the time and energy to put in the effort to adapt to something that can empower them further.
It's a stronger thing, like the desire.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I tell people that I came to the States and I didn't know what a 2x4 was, and I didn't know what accounts receivable was. But 3 years later, I built my own office in the backyard using 2x4s, and I wrote my first accounting program. And it was just the desire, you know,
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. It's
and
interesting.
persistence. And I'm self-taught when it comes to programming. I never took any courses. Well, actually, I took a course as an engineer in Fortran, this ancient language that I think some people still use it, because some companies just keep this old stuff running. But um, so here's an example of past prompts. So you can go.
Well,
So
actually,
this is
I'm curious, Elizabeth. Do you speak any other languages? I mean, besides programming languages.
No,
No?
I
Okay.
don't. I
Mm.
don't.
That would have been a good example. Okay. Well, how about? Okay, we know you're kind of into blockchain more professionally. What can you give us a hobby or activity that you like, kind of just that you do spend a fair amount of time with?
Yeah, I'm a dancer in the industry. So like heels dancing
Okay.
specifically. So so that's like a hobby that I do. Um
Okay. So, do you? I don't know. Do you ever spend time then just thinking or looking up content that could maybe give you ideas to come up with a new dance just for fun?
yeah, I look up that. Yeah, I'm like trying to think how I would use this because I utilize like Instagram and I'm always like looking up things or collecting different movements, but it would be interesting to like choreograph a dance using AI. I like you know what I mean? That would be like
Maybe like I'm wondering,
like
maybe we
this.
can combine two types of dance forms. Like maybe we took salsa and like a waltz, and could we combine that into is heel dancing a form of dance, or is that?
yeah, it's a
Oh,
form of dance.
okay. So
What would be really cool would be like, like I think about because there's a lot of girls that make a lot of money being choreographers for big artists, but it's like for me, I don't think of like come up with the dances that quick. It takes a lot of effort, and it's like if I want to do other things, whatever. But if like there's an easy way where I could choreograph something that's like suited, prompted by certain styles or whatever, like you could maybe put in like I don't know, like heels mixed with like lyrical or something to like this type of music. Maybe it's like a Bollywood music. Like that would be kind of cool. And then that would be all my own creation, but it would put out something like an image of this person doing this choreography to a specific song. And then all I'd have to do is learn that. And I wouldn't have to think of it like in my own body and sit there and like workshop in my living room. You know what I mean? Like, and then I could probably teach more classes than I do. Um,
Well, this is
do
yeah,
you teach as well?
yeah. I
Okay,
teach.
nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what I'm thinking from that is we could use GopherGet to generate a prompt that we would feed into something like a text to video, so that it would just give you a quick 5-10 second video of some sort of avatar dancing, and maybe that gives you the spark, for that new move, or that move that you didn't think to incorporate. So interesting
Right. Like
stuff.
when you have, yeah, that would be crazy. That would be really cool.
So while you do that, Nico, let me see if I can pull up. I think we had a tool that did text to video. Let me see if I can find a good one.
Pictionary.
Will it do it the way we're thinking, though, where it would maybe give us like a person dancing or something?
I have no idea, man.
Let me. I'm working here on my other screen, so I'll do some research.
Let's just throw something to it to see what it does. I'm just gonna. So basically, what it does is, if you press this button, we create a prompt to send to ChatGPT by modifying it in a way we think we'll get a better answer. And this could be anything, asking it something it usually doesn't want to answer.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no idea. As a kid growing up, my mother made me take dancing lessons, waltz, all those things, and I hated it because my teacher was this short man dressed in a suit with dandruff.
Yeah, that's
and bad breath. Okay, so what it does, and you can also copy the clipboard here. Let's see. Salsa and waltz, two distinct dance styles that have captivated audiences for generations, are often seen as popular opposites. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Salsa is fiery and passionate movements. It's known for its vibrant energy and syncopatic rhythm. On the other hand, waltz is a graceful and flow. Okay, so let's skip to what it's trying to tell me. In the worlds of heels dancing, where self-expression and creativity are celebrated, the fusion of salsa and waltz dance moves has gained popularity among students, really. The innovative blend allows dancers to explore the boundaries of their artistry, pushing them to their limits. So it begins with dancers gracefully gliding across the dance floor, the movements mirroring the elegance of the waltz. As the music transitions into a lively salsa beat, the dancers seamlessly shift into vibrant and energetic steps. The contrast between the two styles create a visually stunning display as the dancers effortlessly transition from fluid waltz turns to sharp salsa spins. I mean, I can put this in the chat and see if it makes any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me, but
yeah, it makes total sense to me. But so this is interesting. So because if I put this, is this a prompt then to like create?
Well, it's a way for us to take as much information from you to give us the data that we have to feed, and we kind of analyze how ChatGPT would respond to get you the best answers. So by filling this up as much as possible, we try and get the right response. And that's a problem with ChatGPTs. People don't formulate. Like my perfect example is if I'm an astronomer and I want to ask an astronomer a question, but say I'm a fifth grader, would I get the same answer? I shouldn't get the same answer. Okay.
Yeah.
So the audience and who you're asking is important, and that's something that people miss. So this just helps like create the correct question.
Gotcha.
So I'll put it in chat, but the funny thing is it sounds interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's really interesting.
I mean, I think it did a pretty good job, to tell you the truth, of how it said that you would then transition in these two completely different styles,
And so once you send that, I'm actually going to paste a little section of that into a text-to-video generator, and let's see what it gives us.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about to see.
This is, it says too long. I'm gonna send it to your text. Okay.
Can you send
If
it
you
to
want
my Discord?
another way, no. You're not gonna have me use 5 different
But I
communication.
can't take the text. I'm not on my Mac.
Okay. What about the email?
That works.
So do you guys work together?
Yeah, we're business partners.
Okay.
Yeah, but in certain areas, we both kind of do other jobs too. We just have a passion for this stuff, and if I could do this 100% of the time, I would, because I find it very compelling and interesting, don't you?
Yes. Yeah, very much so.
Okay, I sent you an email, and what I'm saying is that if you try this out and see that's helpful, because ChatGPT can be frustrating even for me, where
Yeah.
I don't know what to ask, but I get these stupid responses, sometimes, oh God. And I think a lot of people there was a lot of hype and they got into it and they feel frustrated sometimes. So we just released GopherGet, I think it was a month or two ago. And by the way, I'll put my email address in chat if you want to communicate.
Yeah, that would be great because I do have to jump off here. So,
Yeah.
but this is really awesome. Like really cool stuff. Like nobody ever talks about this stuff, so I'm like happy to know people that are interested in it.
If you give me a minute, I'll run this example real quick. I just
Oh
opened the
yeah,
email.
yeah. Sorry. Yeah, yeah.
If you want to share too.
Yeah, I'm just gonna copy this text and share.
What do you think of our representative here for the podcast? The woman with the mic.
Oh, that one. Yeah. The background. I like her. So she's got I
So
couldn't
that
tell
that
what that
was
was.
that was our final. Because as you saw, Nico went through some examples in that video. So this was kind of our final result of getting that podcast avatar.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
I
so here.
couldn't tell it was a microphone to be honest, but I think it's just my screen.
Yeah, I think. Oh, this is to the. You see above his head on the left.
Yeah, yeah, I see it now. Yeah, like because I think it's just my phone because images are blurry. It's not the greatest.
Okay.
Oh, you're on the phone.
Yeah.
So welcome to Kyber. How did you discover us? Okay, we're gonna skip this. Let's just say YouTube, social media content creator, film. I guess there we go. Okay. Dear creator, active subscribers can create. Oh, great. Do I have to put a credit card? Oh my gosh. Yeesh.
Well, it's a Kyber. That's what it's called.
Yeah. Oh my god. I could put a card here, but let me see if I got one. But I'll just have to move the thing off
Shoot
screen.
me an email. I'll send you the text that we created from that result. And there's Pictionary. There's a bunch of programs where you can just paste in text and it'll actually create a video for you.
I tried this one too, so let me see if it'll give me a opportunity without having to put a card.
Yeah.
I don't normally sign in with Google, but just in the interest of being quick, generate a video. Okay, I don't want 2 rhinoceri. But
Close and shutting down one more thing.
I took a random paragraph. I don't have any media. A short generated video. Oh, maybe I should have gone to the video tab, but okay. So here we go. Let's see what it spits out for us. Running.
Oh, it's a man and woman.
Yeah. Now I don't know how long this takes, but let's give it about a minute or 30 seconds or so. Ah, okay. It's coming in slowly. 9%. But that's actually pretty rapid, like, to think about it. We're about to get like a 10-second video. And so this is actually the way Midjourney operates too. Is it'll I'm not going to say it in the best technical language, but it'll start with like a very low pixelated version, and then it'll start to fill things in. And as it iterates, because it iterates, that's where you can start getting those issues or those, deformities and this and that. So that's why negative prompts are really going to help optimize your outcomes.
You know, it's interesting. I did see a tool that you can create exercises for you. And so I'm wondering if there's a way to do dance steps.
Yeah.
Yeah, there would have to be.
This almost looks like Pixar animated, at least right now, until it's at 80%. So we'll see if it becomes more lifelike.
And see if there's a way to create some dance steps based on music, because you could create your own music.
Oh my God, that would be great. Yeah, to create your own music plus the dance steps to go along with it.
Yeah, check out soundraw.com, or maybe it's .ai.
I'm gonna put that on my, hold on.
You can have it create lyrics for you as well.
Okay, here we are.
Oh.
What did we say?
Well, it's just a quick.
Looks like they have multiple limbs.
Yeah. So you see, I mean, that's just a quick demo, but obviously you could fine tune this, tweak this, start getting optimized prompts to put into Genmo, or maybe Kyber's better, who knows? But you would have to sign up, and just spend some time, play with it, and when it's a little bit of that learning curve to like, how do I start getting what I think in my mind out of the response, and then when you start getting that, like, and you can start fine tuning, you're like, oh my gosh, this is next level.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible though. I mean, just the fact that it can do that, because yeah, so Discord, or if you use Midjourney, type in to Discord, but Midjourney doesn't create videos though, does it? It's just these specific.
Yeah, but you can also take, let's say you create an image, you're in love with it in Midjourney or Leonardo. You can take that image, probably, I don't know if it will take it in Genmo, but there are also image to video creators. So
yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. So you would to make that image move that you create, and like say you like an image and you want to keep it, and then you want to bring it to life.
Yeah, and we can wrap it up here, but just so you can soundraw.io, check that out. It's pretty fun.
Okay, cool. I'm putting this in my notes. Soundraw.io. Okay, cool. Thank you guys so much. This is awesome. What is hold on, Sean, what is your email? Do you have an email?
Yeah. So it's my name, SEAN, at GopherGet.com.
Yeah, GOPHERGET.
Okay. All right, cool.
Awesome.
Thanks, and have a good evening. And hopefully we've pointed you in some direction where you can start working on some stuff and improve your... Look, you've got to build your tool sets, and be above everybody else.
Yeah.
And it's up to you to do it. It's up to all of us to do that.
Yeah, it's very true. It's very true.
Okay.
All right, thank you guys. Have a good night.
Thanks. Take care. Bye.
Bye.